which have implications for our nation's future. The first is illegal small-scale mining, which we refer to as galamsey, a phenomenon which gnaws at our nation's hearts and is undoubtedly an existential threat, as the broad mass of the Ghanaian society have rightly called it. Its effects are well known and well documented. Galamsey has devastated our environment and continues to do so by polluting rivers, destroying forests and fertile farmlands, and degrading soil. Galamsey is a major cause of water pollution in Ghana, with rivers like the Pra and Cobra and Birim becoming lifeless and murky. This is due to the dumping of waste and the use of toxic chemicals like mercury, which transform highly into toxic methyl mercury. The Ghana Water Company Limited continues to warn of a severe water crisis in the near future if immediate action is not taken to address this problem. Galamsey has stripped away topsoil and vegetation, leading to severe erosion and rendering land unusable for farming. The landscape of affected communities is scarred by excavation, leaving it barren and prone to further damage. Socially, it has contributed to the displacement of farmers, farm hands, and whole families as farmlands are converted to mining sites. It has also increased poverty and potential health issues due to contaminated water and mercury exposure, impacting food security and the livelihoods of several local communities. Economically, while providing some income, the environmental damage and shifts from agriculture has led to higher living costs and lower food production in affected regions. How can we also forget the national security challenges brought about by the menace of galamsey, as the influx of illegal miners, often accompanied by foreigners, have been linked to an increase in criminal activities in affected communities. The repeal and replacement of the small-scale gold mining law, PNDC Law 218 of 1989, by the Minerals and Mining Act 703 in 2006 to provide a more comprehensive and regulatory framework for small-scale mining has not eliminated illegal small-scale mining. Indeed, in the years after, galamsey has become worse as the measures we have employed to combat galamsey seem half-hearted and unable to curb this menace, which is a threat to the country's survival. Considering the unspeakable death, pain, and destruction that galamsey has brought to this country, I urge political leadership to take bold and far-reaching measures to bring this menace to a long overdue end. We cannot continue to dither in September 2025 on the repeal of the Environmental Protection, Mining in Forest Reserve Regulations 2022, LI 2462, which has permitted mining in forest reserves. It is a good place to start if we sincerely want to win the war against galamsey. The time to act is now without any further delay. This leads me to the next subject I want to speak about: drug abuse in Ghana, particularly among young people. As we strive to build a brighter future for our youth, we must confront the harsh reality of substance abuse and its devastating consequences. I recently stumbled on a research on substance use among adolescents in Ghana, titled Prevalence, Correlates, and Reasons for Substance Use Among Adolescents aged 10 to 17 in Ghana, a cross-sectional convergent parallel mixed study method. This research, conducted and authored by Sylvester Che Jemfi, Frank Che Arthur, Nuruddin Al-Hassan, Martin Redu Ejekum, Prince Buama Abra, and Nuwo Zakube, was published online on 29 February 2024 by Open Access in its journal on the subject, Substance Abuse Treatment, Prevention, and Policy. The research made very grim reading and got me particularly alarmed. The results of the research concluded, among others, that there is a relatively high substance use among adolescents with a prevalence of 12.3%. It further revealed that 56.9% of adolescents in Ghana abuse alcohol, while 26.4% abuse cigarettes. The two are the most common substances abused. Apart from alcohol and cigarettes, the results also concluded that 6.5% abuse tramadol, while 4.8% abuse marijuana, with others abusing other drugs. According to the research, the situation could actually be worse because typically, substance use among adolescents in Ghana is often underreported due to several factors. I was shocked to read that while some adolescents consider substance use as fun, some abuse these substances as aphrodisiacs, and others for the confidence it gives them to approach the opposite sex. And to think that these substances pose significant risks to their health, well-being, and development, as well as their future and the nation's. I began to wonder where we went wrong as a country and whether as adults we have failed our young ones. What could account for this? It seems to me that the easy availability of substances, peer pressure, and curiosity are just a few factors contributing to this trend. The consequences, as already noted, are far-reaching, affecting not only the individual, but also families, communities, and society as a whole. To combat this menace, we must adopt a multifaceted approach, targeted at education and provision of support services, such as counseling, rehabilitation centers, and hotlines to provide adolescents with the help they need to overcome addiction. Effective collaboration between law enforcement agencies and stringent enforcement of laws can help curb access to these substances. We must also seriously promote alternative activities such as sports, arts, and cultural programs to provide positive outlets for energy and creativity of our youth. Also, a society that supports recovery and rehabilitation will break the stigma surrounding addiction and encourage adolescents to seek help without fear of judgment. Let us join forces to protect our youth and safeguard our nation's future. Together, we can build a Ghana where adolescents thrive, free from the grip of substance abuse. Ladies and gentlemen of the bar, these are the thoughts that I leave with you. Over the course of this conference, let us engage in thoughtful discourse, share insights, and learn from one another's experiences. We must explore the pressing issues of our time, seek solutions to complex legal problems, and reaffirm our commitment to the ideals of justice and the rule of law. Together, we must work to ensure that the legal profession remains a beacon of hope, fairness, and integrity in an ever-evolving world. let us remember that our duty as legal professionals extends beyond the confines of our courtrooms and law offices. It is a duty to society for the preservation of democracy and to the protection of fundamental human rights. We need to face the challenges of our times with commitment so as to achieve true success. Thank you for your dedication to the pursuit of justice. Together, we will continue to shape the future of the legal profession and ensure that justice remains the cornerstone of our society. With these words, it is my singular honor and privilege to declare the 2025 Annual Conference of the Ghana Bar Association officially open. Thank you, and God bless us all, our profession, and our nation.
Can we do it again, please? Thank you, my lady, Justice Hafisata Amalibuba. We shall now be joined by the chairperson of the Bar Council for England and Wales, who will give us an address virtually. The technical guys, can you please? So while waiting for the technical crew to put together the virtual presentation, if the cultural troupe is ready, the cultural troupe. Please, do we have Kobe in Wentombu? Are you ready? Okay, so please, shall we please welcome Barbara Mills, the chairperson of Bar Council for England and Wales, to address us.
Nana Oye Abampo, Deputy Chief of Staff, Office of the President of Ghana. Honorable Charles Poison, Upper West Regional Minister. Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, Chair. Studies. Professor Emmanuel Darby, Vice Chancellor of the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Mr. Iweku Citi, President of the Upper West Branch of the Ghana Bar Association. Learned friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is an honor and privilege to be able to address you this morning briefly as the Ghana Bar Association annual conference opens. I'm only sorry that I cannot be with you in person. I'm honoured because the friendship between the Bar Council of England and Wales and the Ghana Bar Association is a deeply cherished one that embodies lawyers as a global profession, sharing knowledge and offering mutual support founded on shared values. I'm also delighted to be here because the role of judges and lawyers as custodians of the Constitution and in preserving the rule of law has been and continues to be the subject of much debate here in England and Wales. Conferences such as yours provides a real opportunity to share knowledge, so I look forward to hearing the threads that emerge and the conclusions that you draw from your conference. I will, if I may, offer some thoughts based on our experience in England and Wales of the challenges lawyers can face when upholding the rule of law and the opportunities there might be for us as a global profession to support each other in acting as custodians of the rule of law. Constitutions reflect commitments at the very heart of a society, and the role of preserving these commitments is assigned not so much to branches whose continued presence of office depends on politics, but to a judicial branch and a legal profession whose loyalty is to the independent administration of justice above all else. The judicial oath in England and Wales has judges swear that they will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will. The judiciary plays an essential role in sustaining constitutional democracy, and they do so in a number of ways. Ruling on the legality of executive action, interpreting the Constitution and giving it practical meaning in the lives of its citizens, vindicating human rights and civil liberties, protecting the integrity of electoral processes, and ensuring, above all, access to justice, including groups that may be marginalised in the political process. It is accordingly critical that the judiciary be, and be seen to be, independent and impartial. Perceptions of bias or politicisation diminish public trust in the courts, and politicians in this country will tell them all the time, language is important. They need to be responsible with the words they use to describe judicial rulings. And I say so because in England and Wales, in the last decade, we have seen politicians and parts of the media attack judges for legitimately doing their job, calling them unelected, activists, and worst of all, in my view, enemies of the people. The enemies of the people label was infamously held at 3 judges who ruled that the Prime Minister could not unilaterally trigger the UK's notice of leaving the EU without obtaining Parliament's consent. The clamour for Brexit overshadowed the more insidiously undemocratic fact that the Prime Minister was trying to use the sigil powers of the monarch to avoid debate in Parliament. In this jurisdiction, judges cannot defend themselves or respond to public criticisms of them, so it falls on us as lawyers to defend them, and this is one of the areas where lawyers can face attack. Lawyers also play another role in safeguarding constitutional democracy. This inheres partly in the work to litigate cases that and elucidate constitutional rules and rights, as well as embodying the values and spirit of the Constitution in all of its work. Whether our speciality is criminal law, family law, tort, or property, in focusing on the technical detail of an area, we should not lose sight of the bigger picture, that all of these practices are part of the delivery of constitutional justice. The Code of Conduct for Barristers in England and Wales includes the duties of honesty and integrity, which requires us not to make any contention that we do not consider to be properly arguable. that requirement for barristers to exercise independent, objective judgment and refrain from lending their weight to cases that are frivolous is the safeguard. That means that when a barrister does take on a cause, they should be respected as legal lawyers are bound by the Cameron Rule, a professional principle requiring a barrister to accept work in their field of law if they are available, competent and unconflicted. It ensures access to justice, preserves client choice and promises fair market practice by preventing barristers from cherry-picking cases domestically. You are able to refuse cases only for legitimate reasons, for example, unavailability, benefits, lack of qualifications, or health or safety concerns. And it does, of course, not compel a barrister to take a case outside of their experience. In other words, we take cases that come in, and barristers must not be associated with their clients or their clients' causes, often forgotten in the pursuit of criticism and vilification of barristers for representing and speaking on behalf of unpopular people or causes. Lawyers advance the rule of law in other ways. I think we would all agree that the lawyer's role as advocates extends beyond the doors of the courtroom to speaking as experts on legal issues to educate and inform the public about their rights. The UN General Assembly, in its resolution on human rights education, said this, that each woman, man and child, to realise their full human potential, must be made aware of all their human rights. Lawyers are well placed to provide this, and bar associations like mine and yours do take an active role in public legal education. Citizens can only avail themselves calling for disciplinary actions in this jurisdiction to be taken against the lawyer as they label such lawyers partisan or activists. An increased polarization in society can turn disagreements into zero-sum games, where any common ground about the importance of any shared institutions is sacrificed in the pursuit of outcomes at all costs. I offer these examples and reasons why it seems to me that we cannot really talk about the role of lawyers as custodians of the rule of law without sparing a thought for how they are often treated as they pursue that goal. There is nascent global consensus about the constitutional importance of lawyers, and this is embodied in the Convention on the Protection of the Profession of Law. This treaty was developed by the Council of Europe. It has received support from nations in Latin America, as well as the Pan-African Lawyers Union. I commend the treaty to all of you. It embodies a global recognition of the fundamental role that lawyers and their professional associations play in upholding the rule of law, securing access to justice, and ensuring the protection of human rights. This landmark treaty was adopted in March 2025. It opened for signature on the 13th of May, and I'm pleased to tell you that the United Kingdom signed it on the 14th of May. It is the first binding treaty designed to strengthen the protection of lawyers and their independence, establishing safeguards against threats, harassment, and interference. It came about in response to the widespread problems of attacks on lawyers, and it sets out critical principles, including that lawyers should not be conflated with the clients they represent. It recognises, too, the role of lawyers and bar associations in promoting the rule of law and participating in public discussion on the law, the justice system, human rights, and law reform. The Convention also embraces relationships, like the relationship between the Ghana Bar Association and the Bar Council of England and Wales, by advocating for greater ties of cooperation and solidarity between lawyers of different nations. It envisages bar associations working with ones established in other states on matters of law and practice of law, including the promotion and the protection of the role of lawyers. The Ghana Bar Association and the Bar Council of England and Wales were ahead of the convention because we signed a memorandum of understanding in 2022. And that memorandum of understanding underpins our relationship. It opens with a shared commitment to defending the rule of law, including by lending support to one another when requested. Because as Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And it behoves the global legal community to speak as equals and friends the cause that I cherished all over the world, from the Banjul Charter to the Strasbourg Convention and the Pact of San Jose. We are now 3 years on since that MOU was signed. We can continue to strengthen our relationship even further. Just as an MOU is a set of promises, so too a constitution is a set of promises. Sacred promises about the very fabric of a society. Ensuring that those promises are kept is a continuing journey, and it is a calling and indeed the very lifeblood of judges and lawyers. Our profession is one founded on commitment to excellence, independence, and fear for both of a higher ethical standard. You, as lawyers, should take pride in it. You should hold firmly to the aspiration of being custodians of the rule of law in our respective institutions. And we must do, as Ruth David Winslow said, to fight for the things you care about, but to do it in a way that will lead others to join you. So I wish you a successful conference. I look forward to hearing about the themes, the threads and conclusions that emerge from the speeches and discussions on this very important topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cultural Group, can you now take over, please? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. That was very impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice has asked for permission to attend to another equally important national program. So he has left us for now. So if you do not see him on the high table, then it is because of his apology. It is time to now listen to the woman who has made history in the Ghana Bar Association, the first female president of the Ghana Bar Association. Shall we please welcome Mrs. Ifwagati to address us?
Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Deputy Chief of Staff, Finance and Administration, Nana Oye Bampoado, the representative of the Acting Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, Hafizata Amaliboba, the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, who has to catch a flight, Dr. Dominic Ayini, the Regional Minister, Honorable Charles Luanga Poison, the Chairman of the Council of the prestigious university, Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, the Vice Chancellor of this university, Professor Seidu Al-Hassan, distinguished traditional rulers, particularly the Wanas entourage, members of the Bar Council, Her Excellency Mrs. Anna Bosman, my learned friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am both delighted and humbled to have the opportunity this morning to address you, this being my first time addressing the bar at an annual general conference as the president of the bar. My executive and I were elected on September 11, 2024, and sworn into office on November 4, 2024. It has been just about 10 months since we assumed office, and if members of the Bar Council, which includes the executive, were to grant individual interviews in respect of the said period, I'm pretty sure that the common thread would be the use of the adjectives interesting, exciting, unexpected, and challenging. Indeed, God moves in mysterious ways his wonders to perform. As leaders of the bar, we have learned to stick together, laugh at ourselves, even amid stressful situations, and genuinely practice what real family members do, chastise in love and forge ahead in unison, cherishing what each person brings to the table. At our last conference in Kumasi on September 11, 2024, the bar in its wisdom spoke decisively, entrusting us with this sacred mandate a responsibility we voluntarily signed up for. Our greatest strength has been the unflinching support of our colleagues and, above all, the abiding faithfulness of the Lord. To members, we are most grateful. To the Almighty God, we ascribe all the glory and praise for bringing us thus far. To our dignitaries, you deserve our heartiest thanks. Our records indicate that, Mr. President, for the very first time, we shall await the day when his schedule will permit him to be with us. His Lordship Justice Paul Kojo Bafoboni, the acting Chief Justice, is represented by Her Ladyship Justice Hafizata Maliboba. You are welcome. The Attorney General, Honorable Dominic Ayeni, Ministers of State, Traditional Rulers, most notably the Wana and his entourage, and heads of various institutions. Your presence here has truly set the tone for this conference, and for that, we are grateful. The year is historic. For the first time in its 149-year history, the Ghana Bar Association is convening in the beautiful, peaceful, and historic Upper West region. Over 800 participants are present, some of whom have traveled not less than 687 kilometers by road from the coastal regions to experience this historic event. The interesting reveal is that this place is home to quite a number of distinguished lawyers. And the president of the Upper West Bar has mentioned some of the names of these illustrious persons. May I kindly invite all lawyers here present who hail from this region to rise briefly for recognition. Thank you very much. This indeed is amazing. Our gratitude also goes to the executive of the Upper West Bar, the local organizing committee, and the conference committee, ably chaired by Mr. William Woodrow, a past vice president of the bar, for collectively pulling this off in style. You are all pace setters in your own right. The indomitable Ashanti Bar deserves special mention for sharing your planning and execution experiences from the last annual conference in Kumasi, sparing us the need to reinvent the wheel. Can we recognize the executives of the Upper West Region Bar? And then can the local organizing committee members join them if they are here? Followed by the conference committee. I guess they are quite busy. Thank you very much. Over the past 10 years, the bar has had the opportunity to engage with the arms of government, starting with the presidency. The entire Bar Council paid a courtesy call on the president on Wednesday, March 26th of this year, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. On that occasion, in reference to the bar, he remarked, and I quote, "You have been a strong advocate for the rule of law, respect for human rights, the Constitution, and freedoms. I believe that the role you play is important for our society to progress." These poignant words are indicative of his recognition of the bar's unique role, and by extension, his willingness to accommodate a vibrant and united bar that speaks truth to power. We are confident and trust that under his leadership, he will join hands with us in jealously guarding the rule of law, respecting human rights, and upholding both the letter and spirit of our Constitution. As SOA JSC reminded us in the landmark case of Amakotofo versus Attorney General, Constitutional interpretation requires a broad and liberal spirit, not a narrow interpretation. It is only when we adhere to such admonition that the citizenry will experience true peace and progress. In our quest to continually put Ghana on an enviable pedestal, we may from time to time hold views that differ. But let me assure all and sundry that we will not be motivated by ill will, but solely by the conviction that the foundation of every nation rests on respect for the rule of law, and where every man and woman stands equal before the law. In addition to meeting the president, I had the opportunity to meet and have a meaningful discussion with the Speaker of Parliament, a senior of about 43 years at the bar. The Bar Council, among other courtesy calls paid, met with Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Araba Isaba Sakitokono and the Acting Chief Justice, His Lordship Justice Paul Kojoba Fuboni, and the Attorney General, Honorable Dominic Aturinga Ayeni. I'm trying. Member of Parliament for Boga Tanga East in the Upper East region. From the earliest days before and after Ghana's independence, this association has placed a premium on justice and accountability. As lawyers, our diverse perspectives enrich national discourse, citizenship, so that our resolve remains firm. As the beacon that sheds light on legal matters in the public space, the bar must never, ever waver in its role as the voice of the voiceless. It is therefore a source of concern when recent events such as the heckling of a lawyer who was defending an accused person and the detention of a lawyer representing a client were brought to our attention. We must be mindful that such unruly acts may start. After the mini call on May 9th, 2025, our membership is now 8,386. This steady growth has created more demands on us as leaders. There's a need to heighten communication and have more frequent engagements with members and address their needs accordingly to enable them to be fully functional. This year, the various bar committees have been empowered and encouraged to do more to respond to pertinent professional and national issues, such as the Legal and Constitutional Committee, which, among other duties, proffers legal opinions on bills before Parliament. Currently, we have been furnished with a copy of the Labour Bill by the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment for our input. Looking at our accomplishments over the past 10 years, let me attempt to do some stock taking. In my pre-election speech of September 11, 2024, I anchored my vision on two pillars: the welfare of our members and peace within a united bar and service. I drew inspiration from Mordecai in the book of Esther, chapter 10, verse 3, where he was remembered for seeking the welfare of his people and speaking peace to all. I'm happy to report that the bar leadership has made progress in this regard. The welfare of our members has received renewed attention, spearheaded by the Welfare Committee, which is currently reviewing existing policies on the welfare and health of members. We are working to leverage our numbers to negotiate beneficial and flexible packages for our members who wish to acquire properties and vehicles. The initial findings of this initiative are documented in the Welfare Committee's report in the conference brochure. I made mention of the setting up of a fund known as the Care Fund as a first aid fund to provide timely assistance in personal emergencies. We are optimistic that by mid-year conference in 2026, we will be adopting tailor-made policies to benefit members, especially our young lawyers. Recognizing the importance of gender sensitivity, we have also made it possible for young mothers to fully participate in person at conference with their children. For the very first time, creche services have been provided, which caters for children from morning to evening. The welfare of young lawyers is firmly on our radar. This year's conference fees for young lawyers were reduced accordingly by the Bar Council to enable them attend this year's conference in their numbers, and it has paid off. The Bar Council, apart from hosting for the first time its members who were 50 or more years at the bar, hosted young lawyers at the bar, during which session their concerns were made known to leadership. The engagement will be ongoing as it serves as a mentoring platform for our young lawyers. In our discussions with universities, both local and international, who seek some form of partnership with the bar, we are advocating for short-term courses and exchange programs for especially our young lawyers. These efforts are being made to also deepen our ethical standards, empower the next generation of lawyers to thrive in their practice and prepare them to receive the baton of leadership from us, the seniors. Ghana and beyond awaits them to do us all proud. To aid practitioners, we are in discussions with the judiciary to roll out a court alert system, which will notify members electronically of any changes in court schedules. This app will save lawyers the inconvenience of traveling long distances or rushing dangerously, only to discover the court is not sitting. I wish to turn my attention to the Law Week celebrations and the mid-year conference. Of the various engagements over the 10 months, permit me to make mention of two events that witnessed the active involvement of members in all the 16 regions of Ghana. These were the Maiden Law Week celebrations and the revival of the mid-year conference. The Maiden Law Week celebrations gave the regional bars the opportunity to set aside a week, either starting or ending with the Martyrs' Day service, which has been observed for the past 43 years on the 30th of June each year. The Law Week celebration, originally conceptualized by the Greater Accra Bar and adopted by the Bar Council, has come to stay. And this year, a myriad of activities ranging from bench bar engagements, legal outreach programs, medical screening and health checks, law clinics, continuous legal education, media engagement on topical matters, excursions, dinners, including a masquerade dinner, Muslim prayers, and Christian Thanksgiving services were rolled out across the nation. The enthusiasm and participation by members nationwide were truly heartwarming. The second event was the mid-year conference, which was held on Saturday, April 25th, 2025, on the theme, expanding the role of the legal professional in national development, positioning the bar as the fulcrum. Attendance exceeded 200, which was about 7 times the required quorum of 30, as set out in Article 26 of the Bar Constitution. We received glowing reviews of the quality of the panelists on the discussion of the theme. We found it pertinent to pass resolutions ranging from the mode of assignment of cases, suspension of the Chief Justice, illegal mining and its dire environmental consequences, the Boko conflict, and the Ablekuma North parliamentary election. These resolutions were in line with our practice, duly publicized. No sooner had we started finding our feet were we approached by the leadership of the African Bar Association. Initially, we construed the greetings to be one of the numerous congratulatory messages we had been inundated with due to the attention the Ghana Bar Association had attracted, with 2 females leading the charge for the first time in its history. But the message bore greater weight. The Ghana Bar Association had been highly considered to play host to the rest of Africa in October 2025, which is just about a month away. On behalf of the association, we accepted the challenge. Participants, preparations are now far advanced, and we are expecting about 800 participants. The choice of Ghana is not merely an honor, but a recognition of our nation's standing within the continent. It's a responsibility we must embrace with pride and safeguard jealously. I am confident that we will all live up to this challenge. Over the period, the bar has also attracted considerable attention, as it is in the process of entering into or revising a number of memoranda of understanding with some professional bodies and partner institutions. These include agreements on artificial intelligence, the holding of corporate governance seminars in Ghana for the benefit of professional institutions and governance-focused bodies, cooperation networking and exchange programs with bar associations and councils, such as the Ivorian Bar, the Bar Council of England and Wales. We have also been approached by universities as well to explore further avenues of collaboration. These engagements will strengthen our capacity and broaden the horizon of our association. Now permit me to turn to the theme, sustaining the Fourth Republican constitutional democracy, the role of the judiciary and the legal profession. As lawyers, and many of us subsequently as judges, let me start with a reflection of our journey, the noble profession we subscribe to. Reminders abound that our profession is closely tied to that of a clergy, a truth reflected in our court attire. On the day of our enrollment, each of us undertakes a solemn obligation to uphold the Legal Professional Act and by extension, its rules, the Legal Profession, Professional Conduct and Etiquette Rules, 2020, LI 2423. Too often this is hurriedly given as the prospective lawyers are in a joyous haste to flaunt their new status as fully fledged lawyers. Yet the weight of this undertaking must not be lost on us. It is the very foundation that prepares us for our role in sustaining our democracy with utmost integrity and acting fairly. The Constitution of the Ghana Bar Association enjoins us to protect the independence of the judiciary. This is a duty the association does not take lightly, and from time immemorial, the bar has fiercely performed this duty. My learned friends, we are all aware that Article 146 of our 1992 Constitution has come under severe scrutiny in recent times. For the first time under the Fourth Republic, it's been evoked in respect of a Chief Justice. The position of the bar must be stated clearly in this regard. The bar recognizes the fact that the power of removal can be exercised under Article 146, but the bar's major concern relates to the process. In the absence of specific rules of procedure, the sketchy process potentially lends itself to arbitrariness and a lack of fairness. Hence, the bar's resolution on the matter, which was as follows. The Ghana Bar Association hereby also calls for the immediate enactment of clear and comprehensive regulations relating to matters under Article 146 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to ensure transparency, accountability, and fairness in all proceedings involving Superior Court justice, particularly in the context of the impeachment or removal of such officers. This resolution was passed and publicized by 30th April 2025. However, no rules were produced. It is commonly said that justice should not only be done, but manifestly be seen to have been done. The lack of an enactment for such rules, in the case of the removal of the fourth highest person in the nation, should be a matter of concern for all of us. These rules should have been known to all and sundry. before the commencement of the process, as it greatly affects the standard to be met. It ends up being an unfortunate precedent, which lacks fairness, a situation that calls for redress, if indeed we are custodians of justice. We all deserve justice, from the well-endowed in society to the less endowed, from those who wield political power to those who don't, from those who have economic power and those who don't, from those who dispense justice to those who receive justice. We all deserve justice. The effects of another resolution passed at our mid-year conference on the assignment of cases electronically is also yet to be experienced as resolved. Now to talk about free speech and political insults. One cannot deny that the discourse in public life, especially across new media, leaves much to be desired. We don't need to insult each other to make our point. However, there is a growing concern that in the bid to curb this growing menace, the very foundations of our constitution are being undermined. This should never be used to cowr the populace into silence. The phrase, "I may not agree with you, but will defend your right to say it," attributed to the French philosopher Voltaire, should be our creed. We cannot, as a nation, go back to the culture of silence. As was said by Admiral Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar, he said, "England expects every man, and I add women, to do his or her duty, and so does Ghana." It beggars belief that a judge in a constitutional dispensation more than 30 years after the return to constitutional rule will rely on the quote of Idi Amin Dada, the former military dictator of Uganda, and the philosophy underpinning George Orwell's book, Animal Kingdom, to arrive at a decision. Colleagues, I do not speak in a vacuum. I speak about the recent ruling given in a case in the Circuit Court, Accra, a ruling which would have been roundly condemned by a cross-section of Ghanaians, and it is so being done. Indeed, we have a lot of work to do, and we must constantly remain vigilant if we want to remain a constitutionally democratized country. Our country's democracy cannot be based on warped philosophy and the totalitarianism preached in the book Animal Kingdom, Animal Farm. Our 92 Constitution is based on equality before the law, and that should be our creed. The Latin is omnis ante legum oris sumus, which means we are all equal before the law. As I close to the end of this address, respectfully, two urgent national issues are worthy of mention. Illegal mining, referred to as galamsey, and some treatment received by lawyers providing services to clients. On illegal mining, my lady has addressed us on that. And I would add that we were informed by a recent media report that Ghana imports the highest number of excavators in West Africa and the second highest number in all of Africa. If indeed that is the case, one may ask, what thriving business in Ghana requires the importation of such huge numbers of excavators? If entrenched interests hide behind status and privilege, then we as lawyers have a moral duty to strip away the impunity that shields them. The rivers of Ghana cannot speak. The forests cannot do likewise. but we as custodians of justice must raise our voices on their behalf. Finally, on affirmative action. To end on this note is to remind one of the strides taken by our women in the professional space since the passing of the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act 2024, Act 1121. Some of our male counterparts argue, half in jest, that the women are now dominating law faculties, Ghana School of Law, Attorney General's Department, and are on the brink of doing so on the bench. And perhaps it is about time that we show them what can be done to regain their position. The good news is that this situation is the new normal. Since September 11, 2024, a number of key institutions in Ghana have come under the leadership of women, such as the Ghana Prison Service. Ivory Coast took a cue and have elected their first female bar president. Currently, there are at least 3 female bar presidents in Africa, and I am in good company. We have stolen a first on our counterparts in Nigeria, as they are yet to elect a female as their bar president. On the international scene, we take pride in our very own Mrs. Barbara Mills, the first Black woman to serve as the chair of the Bar Council of England and Wales, which was formed in 1894. Mrs. Barbara Mills hails from Ghana. And when I met her recently, she spoke fluent Ga. So that is what we have. Before I take my bow, let me once again thank our dignitaries for gracing this conference with their presence. To our revered traditional rulers led by the Wana, we are most grateful. To all participants, we say thank you. Above all, we give thanks to the Almighty God, whose hand has brought us thus far. God bless us all. God bless the Ghana Bar Association. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. I thank you.
Can we do it again, please? Thank you. We have some few announcements, but before then, we would want to acknowledge the presence of some important personalities in our midst. And I'll begin from the high table. We just heard from the president of the Ghana Bar Association, Mrs. Ifwagati. Shall we please acknowledge her? We have Justice Hafisata Amalibuba, Justice of the Supreme Court, representing the acting Chief Justice of Ghana. Thank you. The Honorable Attorney General just left us as announced, but we have Nana Oye, Honorable Nana Oye Bampu Ado, the Deputy Chief of Staff, also with us. We have Dr. Benjamin Kumbo, Chairman of the University Council, also with us. Shall we acknowledge him? We have Professor Emmanuel Kenchebe Deribili, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. Thank you. We also heard from Ubedu Siddiq, the President of the Upper West Regional Bar Association. And our own regional minister, who is also one of us, Honorable Charles Luanga, who is being the regional minister. Thank you so much. We also have in our midst Her Excellency Mrs. Anna Bosman, former ambassador to France, and also the conference speaker. Shall we acknowledge her? We have Justice Emmanuel Yoni Kulendi, Justice of the Supreme Court with us. Shall we please acknowledge her? We have someone who was once the bar executive. She served the bar as the PRO for a very long time. She became the assistant secretary. And in fact, if you are looking for one of the long-serving members of bar, the executives, you cannot forget her. She has become a sister and very close ally of the Ghana Bar Association, even after her elevation. Shall we please recognize the presence of her ladyship, Justice Ya Onyamie Jacobo. We also have a retired Justice of the Court of Appeal in the person of Justice Francis Kobier. We thank you so much for coming. He came all the way from Jarapa to join us. We also have the acting judicial secretary with us, Dr. Cyrus Bapuru. Thank you. We have the supervising high court judge in the person of Justice Alhaji Yusuf Asibe. Shall we also acknowledge the presence of all judges and magistrates in this auditorium? We have a former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, former Member of Parliament, the First Gentleman of the Ghana Bar Association, former Minister of Railways, in the person of Honorable Joe Gatti. He is the husband of the President of the Ghana Bar Association. We have Honorable Charles Bawadria, Member of Parliament for Bongo. Thank you. He is also one of us. We have members of the clergy here. Because of time, I'll kindly ask that you give us a wave. Thank you so much. We also have some senior members of the university. We have the Pro-Vice Chancellor here. We have the Registrar here. We have the Acting Director of Finance. Can you please give us a wave? Thank you so much. We also have service commanders representing the immigration, the regional police commander, the deputy director of prisons, the commander 10th Mechanized Battalion, and the regional fire commander. Shall we please acknowledge their presence? We also have some MMDCs amongst us. Can we acknowledge their presence? Thank you. We have Professor Raymond Atuguba, who is also the acting director, Ghana School of Law, with us. We have the representative of WANA with us, Na Jamal Adama, Begla. Shall we please recognize him? He also came with some members of One's delegation. Can they give us a wave, please? Thank you. Representative of the Tendana here with Alaji Al-Hassan Kumbanji. Shall we please acknowledge him? Thank you. We have Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, who is the Director General, Ghana Maritime Authority. Shall we recognize him, please? We have the head of Ahmadiyya Mission and other members of Ahmadiyya Mission also with us. Can you give us a wave? Thank you. We have the representative of Chief Imam and members of the Regional Chief Imam's delegation. Thank you so much. We also have members of the National Executive Council of the Ghana Bar Association. Can you kindly give us a wave? Thank you. We also have members of the General Council of the Ghana Bar Association also with us. Can you give us a wave? Council members. Thank you. We have former Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Alfred Tuerbois. League members, let's also clap for ourselves because we've done very well. We also have the Deputy Regional Imam of Al-Asuna Wal Jamaa in the person of Sheikh Ahmed. Shall we please recognize him? Shall we take the following announcements? DVLA has set up in the hall opposite the auditorium. All those in need of DVLA services can walk into that hall and be attended to. We also heard that this university, I think about 2 months ago, had a graduation where they had their first law students graduating from this school. The school has done a lot for us, the university, they've done a lot for us in terms of this annual conference. And so I'm encouraging members, they've set up here, we are encouraging members to speak to them, engage them, and say some words of encouragement and advise them so that they can also study to become members of the legal profession. They may also need your assistance so that they can also grow the school or the faculty that they have in this university. So when you exit, kindly look upstairs and you see their stand over there. This afternoon, we have an optional program, which is legal clinic that we are going to have in some various institutions. There is a circular going around. Members are encouraged to add their names so that if you want to help, you'll be called upon to help. You all meet here and the bus will depart at 1 p.m. so that we can attend to the various schools. This evening, the regional minister will host us to a cocktail. He has told us In fact, yesterday he told us that he has more than enough for you to drink and eat. And so this evening at 7 o'clock, we are all moving to the residency. We've provided the address, and it has been circulated to members as well. He told us that indeed he has killed 3 cows just for us. And in fact, if we need more, he will add. He has really prepared himself for us. So this evening, we should not miss out. But to ensure that we do not have any infiltrators or anybody who is not a lawyer joining us, kindly come with your conference tag so that it can be recognized. May I now invite the Assistant Secretary of the Upper West Region, in the person of Crispin, to give us some announcements on the lunch. Shall we welcome him, please?
Please, shall we take the following announcements as we proceed for lunch? Our dignitaries will be having their lunch with the regional minister at the residency. So dignitaries, your lunch will be at the residency. The rest of us are going to be having our lunch here. Just as we exit across the road, there are some lecture halls there. In between the lecture halls 1 and 2, lunch has been set up, and that is where we are going to have our lunch. I repeat, dignitaries will be having their lunch at the residency, and then all of us are going to have our lunch here in between lecture halls 1 and 2. Lunch is already set. Thank you very much.
Shall we please invite Sheikh Ahmed Yakub Siddiq, the Deputy Regional Chief Imam, to give us the closing prayer. Shall we please welcome him?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is due to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the heaven and earth, the Master of the Day of Judgment. Blessings and mercy be upon Prophet Muhammad, his household and the family, and his companions, and those who follow his path to the Day of Judgment. We thank Almighty Allah for making this important conference possible, and we thank him very much for bringing us to a successful end for this part. We pray that all what has said from our high table, Almighty Allah will grant us a better understanding and help us to put it into practice. I believe law is a very crucial task. Issues confronting lawyers are very technical, difficult in nature, and I pray to Almighty Allah to take their hands to the truth and nothing but the truth. I'll leave you with some verses of the Quran that will take you through this conference and eventually send you back to your destination. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. May Allah accept our prayer.
Thank you, Sheikh Ahmed. Before we leave, the members on the high table will take a photo. They will be joined by the National Executive of the Bar, and then will be joined by the council members. So we'll proceed in that order, after which they will leave, and then we can also follow. Thank you so much.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please,
Next
and
member,
say
please
I am
join.
free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you ready.
So much everyone for staying with us. We will be getting to the impact of the boardroom row, which has led to implications on the street, because we're already feeling it on the street. And this is about the Dangote Nupeng row. There is a new development, and it looks to me that a resolution is now officially confirmed. We understand that Nupeng has suspended the strike action after DSS and the finance minister's intervention. Dangote Refinery, we understand, and its management have agreed to workers' rights to unionize, according to the acting general secretary of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Mr. Benson Uba, who was at the closed-door meeting at the DSS headquarters. Both parties came to the agreement, which made the leadership of Nupeng to suspend the strike. The Ministry of Labour has confirmed the development and promised to send a statement soon. You will be seeing the memorandum of understanding, which we understand has been signed. It's been different talks, and some people walked out of that conversation yesterday between the management of the Dangote Petroleum Refinery and the leadership of the National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers. Stretched late into the night yesterday, with the federal government stepping in through the Ministry of Labour to mediate. The negotiation followed a nationwide shutdown of few depots after Nupeng enforced his strike directive, accusing the Dangote Refinery of attempting to bar tanker drivers and other employees from joining the union. Officials of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, and the Petroleum Regulatory Authority were also present at a marathon meeting, which we understand now went from the Labour Ministry to the DSS headquarters, perhaps having some security implication should the nation be shut down in terms of oil and gas production and transportation. So the strike has left filling stations closed in cities like Lagos, Warri, Sokoto, and other parts of the country, raising fears of fuel scarcity and transport fare hikes. The bank president declared 100% compliance nationwide, but we understand now that that has been resolved. Let's get some clarity now and some perspective on this matter. I'm being joined by energy expert and petroleum economist, Mr. Kevin Emmanuel, who is live for us here in our studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Good news, isn't it?
Yeah,
for Dangote to agree, to Nupeng's demands that the truck drivers of the how many hundreds of CNG buses by